Hi, welcome to Worth the War. My name is Kimmy. The purpose of this channel is rethinking love, preparing people for healthy love and relationship and how to avoid abuse. Today our topic is the power of choice in love. And here at Worth the War, our goal is to take you wherever you are, whether you're healing from an abusive or difficult relationship, or you're preparing children or people you love to go out into the dating relationship, or you just really think that culturally speaking, the numbers are screaming too loud for us to ignore, that we need to rethink how we're handling love, finding solutions for some of the problems that we're encountering day in, day out. Let's get into this topic. We've covered on this channel ways that we can prepare our teens and preteens for healthier love and relationship, and I'll put those down below in the notes. But what about the whys of why we need to rethink love, and how does that affect us and how we approach the people that we're living our life with, or the future people that we hope to add into our lives later? Why is this such a big deal for us? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It has a lot to do with power, control, and influence. The background of my education is about power. It's on the study of politics. And one of the things that I learned through that time is that most things get done because of the exertion of power or influence. And when it comes to relationships, it's really no different. When we understand there is power in the idea of love and there is power in the relationship of love to others, we start to understand why there are things like abuse and inequity and problems, because people tend to want what they want the way they want it. So when we think about how this applies to love and how we need to rethink love, one of the ways we can do that is to understand that the power of our lives doesn't lie in this magical idea of love that we have kind of given its own breath and its own life to. So to rethink something, you have to think something's wrong. So what is wrong with the way we approach love? Social media, entertainment, all these other forums are telling us that love is magical, that it's this thing you can't quantify, that you don't get to control it, that it happens to you, that it's fleeting. If you miss it, then you're not going to find it again. Like it's a magic ball that enters into your life. If you don't grab it, you're done. The problem with that is that it essentially takes you out of the ability to ask yourself questions like, is this even healthy? Is this going the direction I want it to go? Is this something I want to build on? It takes us out of the driver's seat and puts us into a passenger seat. And sometimes that may make us settle for things that are unhealthy or abusive. So taking our ideas of love and rethinking them and putting them into a different paradigm sometimes will actually give us a bad rap. They think we're taking the magic out of it, and whoever wants to do that with something beautiful. I'm going to argue that it does the exact opposite. There's nothing magical about settling for a relationship that's unhealthy. There's nothing magical about putting up with abuse or staying someplace because you're afraid you won't find anything as good. When we want magic, we have to think about things like what actually makes us flourish, gives us freedom, gives us joy. When love is approached in a way that doesn't give us those kinds of choices, it loses all of that. When people like me talk about love in terms of choice and make it sound so practical, we get a lot of flack that we're trying to take the attraction out of or the excitement out of a relationship, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. Attraction's a big part of why we want to be with someone, and there's nothing wrong with that. We want to follow that. But the question is, where does it fit into our decision making? How much power does it have? We all know attraction to things that are external are on flimsy ground because things change. Health changes, life changes, bodies change. So we need to make sure that our decision making process includes more than that. But there's nothing wrong with attraction being a big part of how and who you decide you want to love. So as we rethink what love actually is, we have to understand that most of us have ideas of love that are actually counterproductive to us having power over our own lives or the choice to make decisions in the way that we love and who we love. And that comes in simple and subtle ways. The idea is that you can't repel love, that it's just going to happen to you, that you can't mistime it, that you shouldn't mess it up, that you have this idea that love is something that you really literally cannot control. And if you just don't catch it at the right time, you're doomed to be alone. Those kinds of ideas are absolutely dangerous and unhealthy for us. So let's talk about a healthier way of approaching love. Let's rethink it. This paradigm shift is that love is a choice. It is deeply rooted in the idea that love is a verb that you do, that you get to choose who you give it to, that you get to decide critically whether you are a better person with this person than you are without. It's stopping to run against the invisible opponent that makes you feel like you're in some kind of foot race to make sure you find love before everyone else does, or if you never find love, that you won't be complete. Love is a choice. It is something that we get to do. And if we decide that, if we let this paradigm truly be turned on its head, we are given the power that we need to be able to find healthy partners for our love, healthy recipients for our decision making. And when it's not returned or something comes back that doesn't look anything like love, we are free to know that we do not have to stay and put up with that we are given the opportunity to love again every day in different forms, and that it is a gift that we're given that has its roots in what is good, not in what makes us feel good. It would all kind of come down to one summary. Yes, love is attraction. Yes, it's desire. Yes, it's magical in its own right, but it's something much more than that. It's effort, it's faithfulness, it's sacrifice. It's the things that we do that make our love worth having and worth building. If we can understand that, it takes so much of the power so far out of our reach, and it brings it into our own hands, and we get to decide the timing of our life and not feel like we're missing something or we have to catch something or it's all going to fall apart for us. I hope that this is a paradigm shift that we can spread wide and far, that it will spare and protect hearts, that it will give us the opportunity to enjoy exactly where we are. Because as long as in the back of our head we think that something exists that really doesn't exist, this fantastical idea of love, we're also going to often be questioning if we even found the right person. And I can't think of anything more destructive to the kind of relationships that we want to build. I hope that you found this to be useful. We would love to have you come and join us. We believe this is a message that can make a huge difference in the culture, old and young, and we can't do it alone. The more voices that join us, the more engagement that we have on our posts, the more things that you do to let us know that you're in it with us, we will be growing faster and better. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I know that that's a gift that you give. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thanks for being here with Worth the War.